Hi guys, so a future lesson that I would teach in a history classroom in a secondary education setting would be latitudes and longitudes and how to plot coordinates on a map. And the prompting strategy I'm going to demonstrate with my assistant Bella today is most to least. With most to least, in a secondary education classroom, I wouldn't necessarily need to use full physical or partial physical, as the students are a little bit older, and with being a male teacher and with the lesson considering with this, they're not going to really need to be using too much movement of their hands. It just wouldn't be necessary to use such a invasive prompt. So the most invasive and the least independent I'm going to demonstrate first is going to be modeling. And with modeling, after we've already explained what latitude and longitude is and how to look at it in the coordinates, so latitude and longitude, we would go ahead and go to number 1, Arabian Peninsula. We would demonstrate how you always look at the left number, then find it on the side of the map. And since it's 10 degrees intervals, you'd go about halfway, and then the students would either mark it or they can just remember where it's at. Then we go to look at the right number, go to the bottom of the map, find where it falls in there. Again, mark it or visually remember. And then either by using their finger or using their pencil, they would kind of just trace to where that is in between the two, draw their dot, mark it, and then they would move on to do it on their own for number 2. The next more least invasive and more independent would be to show gestural. And for gestural, we would make sure that the students after we've discussed, like, modeled it, we would use just like kind of point. So then they would take their pencil and they would look at where on the latitude and longitude it is. Then we would point on the side of the map and they would take their pencil and kind of go to where that degrees is. So in this case, 49. So they would show where 49 is. Then we would point to the right number, 75. So they would show down here below where 75 is, roughly. And then after they remember where 49 and 75 is, then they would go up and they would mark it on the map right about there. The next least invasive and more independent strategy would be verbal. So verbal would be like, okay, Bella, go ahead and point to where the latitude is for number 6. And she would point. Good job. Okay, so now look at the left side of the map and show me where 45 degrees north is. She would point to where 45 is using the left or right side of the map. Good job. Now show me where the latitude 50 degrees east is at the bottom of the map. And then she would point to where 50 degrees east is. Good job. And now by using your finger or by using your pencil, show me where the point is on the map. So with going and looking at 50 degrees east, should move up to roughly 45 degrees north, and that would be the Caspian Sea. Now, the least invasive and the last more independent strategy we would do would be visual. And with visual, be like, okay, Bella, you're going to now do number 2. And then we would sit there and we would watch her go through the motions where she would look at the numbers, latitude, left side of the map, and she would either mark where it's at, then look at the longitude, find it on the bottom of the map, mark where it's at, and then use her finger to trace to where it is, mark it, label it, and then she can either check mark, cross it off, or just visually remember. So that is the most to least that I would use for this lesson, and thanks for watching.